without further ado, I give you our radio play.
Attention passengers, flight WAR 3280 is now boarding at Gateway 294.
Is that us, Pet?
Yes, Mum.
Where did you say we are going?
Warrnambool.
We're in Bowl? And where exactly is that, love? I've never heard of it.
It's in Australia.
Oh, and why are we going there? To Austria?
No, Mum, it's not.
Final call for passengers travelling to Warrnambool on flight WAR 3280. Please make your way to gate 313.
Who was that?
Vera and her assistant Aidan. You know, on the television, Northern England detective.
But why did we have that piece of dialogue before we start?
Well, I thought it was page 15. Was too late to be introducing a major character.
Oh.
Welcome, dear listeners, to Three-Way FM, to another polished and preserved radio play coming to you before a live audience from Mozart Hall.
Welcome also to the Warrnambool Storytelling Festival, coming to you live from Mozart Hall.
What have we got for the masses today, dear Francis?
A local murder mystery.
You mean set right here in Warrnambool?
That's right.
Ooh.
A whale's tale.
Is that all?
A whale's tale, a local murder mystery.
Oh, that's better. Well done, you've caught on quickly. So, it's just another goon show like last year. That was good.
No. What's a goon show?
Listeners under 60 may well not know what a goon show is. It was a series of very silly radio plays written by Spike Milligan during the 1950s for the BBC and played ever since all around the world. The plots were absurd and the characters eccentric.
Thank you.
Well, is it a Brothers Grimm tale like the year before?
Well, it is a murder mystery. Does that make it grim?
So you said. And what about the Tin Shed Singers?
Is that our cue? Right, lads!
No, don't you lot start yet. But apparently they're here too. Shall we start?
Just before you do, how do you do a murder mystery on the radio?
How do you mean?
We can do screams and those sorts of things, but we can't see people being killed or lying in a pool of blood or dead bodies pulled out of a freezer in a solid state, chilling stuff like that. Aren't they all rather visual?
Yes, and no, I suppose you can't.
Or people being sliced with knives or swords whilst hiding behind the curtain, or having their heads cut off, or being slowly poisoned or pushed off a cliff. Ghosts and witches giving clues about what happened or is about to happen, or people cut up and baked in a pie and served to their family.
For goodness sake, woman, it isn't Shakespeare we're doing here.
I hope not, but I'd like to see you do him on the radio.
They didn't have radios in the 16th century, just theatres.
Excuse me, do you mind giving the damned script a decent chance?
Listeners listening will not realise that a shadowy figure has just leapt up out of the audience. Could he be the murderer?
Who are you?
The scriptwriter.
What are you doing here?
Well, I thought I'd come along and see the show. Now it seems I have to explain how it works.
If it works.
Of course it works. But I'm starting to wonder whether you're willing to give it a half a chance.
If you're the scriptwriter, did you write yourself into the script?
What?
Or is this conversation just happening?
Mr. Scriptwriter, they said this wasn't a goon show.
That's right, it's not.
Now you're here, Do you think you could get us back in?
How do you think you just bobbed up?
Oh, Minnie, there's hope for us yet.
It's good news, buddy. Let's go and read ahead and see if we can get any more lines.
Can I trust you two to keep this thing under control, or do I need to sit here and watch you?
I thought that was what you said you had come to do. Watch us.
Fair point. Carry on then.
Shall we start?
No good, it needs some choke. Just give the thing a decent push, or we'll be here all afternoon just getting the thing started. The suspense will be killing the audience.
Well, you did say it was a murder mystery, didn't you?
Yes, but we don't want the whole audience dead. There'll be no one trying to work out who the killer is.
Who is the killer?
Ah, good try, but I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Well, then I'd have to kill you.
I see where you're going with that. Good one. But can we get on with it?
Yes, of course. Oh, I almost forgot.
What now?
A public announcement. No actual whales were harmed during this recording.
Well, that's a relief.
The same, however, cannot be said about idiots.
So, now can we go?
Thank goodness.
It is a late night in downtown Warrnambool. Two local scouts are roasting marshmallows over a fire in the middle of a roundabout.
They're watching the city lights change. Red and yellow and green. Red and yellow and green. A common and much enjoyed pastime for the citizens of Warrnambool.
Not to mention the silver ball.
We weren't going to mention the ball.
Sorry, that's right.
That sounds familiar. Didn't we have that last year?
That's right. And it didn't work then either.
What time is it, Eccles?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, my good fellow. I have it written down here on a piece of paper I have.
Or is that the piece of paper that you used to light our marshmallow roasting fire?
Oh, yes, I suppose it was. But according to that striking clock thingy in the main street of Warrnambool, we just struck 14, so it must be that.
14 o'clock?
Yeah, that's right, I think.
How can that be? There's only 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 3. There's only 13 numbers on the clock.
Is there? I always wondered about that.
Is that what happens when we change the clocks for daylight saving?
Oh, perhaps it is. I always wondered about that.
You do a lot of wondering, Eccles.
Yes, most days I'm wondering about wondering. Meanwhile, in a bookshop in Liebig Street.
I say, Minnie,
Oh, yes, Henry.
did we just fall out of bed, Minnie?
I think so, buddy. That's the only way you could end up on top of me like this.
We must have rolled over at the same time, Minnie.
I say, Henry, could you take your elbow out of my ear?
That's not my elbow. That's your knee.
Oh, Henry, how romantic you are.
Don't get too excited, Minnie. I'll have to fetch the salts.
I say, Henry, what's that happening outside in the street?
Are they doing roadworks in the middle of the night again?
It looks like a dirty, great big semi-trailer.
Don't use them to dig up the road.
We'd better go down and take a closer look.
Had we?
don't remember this bookshop in our front lounge room, Henry.
Perhaps they are doing street work after all.
Oh, don't be silly, Henry. They don't usually come inside till they want a cup of tea.
I didn't know they usually come in at all.
Did you hear that, Henry?
Yes, it sounds like a horse wearing rubber boots full of water that have squeaky laces.
Oh, Henry, you are so clever. Let's look out through this window that seems to belong to somebody else.
That isn't a horse, Minnie. It's a semi-trailer, and it's leaking water all the way up Liebig Street.
We should call somebody quickly.
I don't know anybody called Quickly.
Meanwhile, in the greenery of a roundabout, two disreputable characters in scout uniforms are huddled over a small fire.
Probably the same ones who backed us before.
Who are you calling disreputable? I have you know that we are the honourable members of the 1st Warrnambool Scouts.
I say, Bottle, how long do we have to toast marshmallows to get our badge?
I don't know, Eccles. I haven't done this one before.
I only asked, Bottle, because I think we've run out of marshmallows.
That's all right. I've got some cough drops here. They'll have to do. Ah, you dirty rotten swine. Did you see that semi-trailer go around our roundabout, Eccles?
No, but I felt it. Now my uniform is all wet, and look at our fire, Bottle.
It's gone out. We'll never get our badge now, or with or without marshmallows.
And did you see what's in the back of that truck?
No, and I didn't see what's in the front either.
Well, it looks to me like a dirty big tail.
Not the tail end of the semi.
I don't think a semi has a tail like that.
A tail like what?
I think it was a whale's tail.
Astute listeners will be wondering how you can get a whale into the back of a semi-trailer, let alone its tail. The rest of you will be wondering too. It's apparently quite common in some places, but definitely not on the stage or even television.
Then radio plays have a use after all.
Yes, I guess they do.
In the meantime, I should point out once again that this is not a goon show.
It's not? What do you mean? We were summoned here, I'll have you know, to appear in an esteemed radio play, and this was the only one we could find.
They're pretty rare now, Henry. This was probably the only one they could find.
Will you two stop blabbing on for a minute and listen to us?
The Goon Show, as we said before, was a British radio play of the 1950s. It is very unlikely it will bob up in Warrnambool in 2024.
We're too late, Minnie. We're too old for this.
Oh, we're too old for most things, Henry.
These idiots just thought this was an opportunity to return to the airwaves.
Wait a minute. Who are you calling idiots?
You tell them, Bottle.
The brain we have between us knows a lot more than you think, and a lot more than we think, too.
Where does that leave me?
Who are you?
Spike Milligan, esteemed writer of most of the Goon shows.
Well, it leaves you in a hole in the ground. You've been dead for 20 years.
Dead? Is that what you call it? I told you I was ill.
This is not a goon show, and we didn't need you to write it.
Well, if you're going to recall Henry Crun and Minnie Bannister,
And Blippatel and Echoes.
Yes.
if you're going to recall them, I'll be listening to see what happens.
So will all these people, and we're not recalling them.
You don't recall us. You mean we've been forgotten already?
Careful, that scriptwriter will be up here again.
Could we please get back to the story before everyone forgets we were considering a semi-trailer full of water with a large tail poking out the back, driving down Liebig Street in downtown Warrnambool in the dead of night?
Careful who you call dead. And they never made me a knight either. Or a dame.
Well, is Spike Milligan the murder victim? Is this a cold case? Or a nutcase? Was he killed by a jealous scriptwriter? Stay tuned for the answers to these and other questions to be revealed after a break.
A break? Already? We don't even have a murder yet.
No, but the Sheddies are getting restless. We don't want them committing one.
Don't we?
We love to go to wandering to see the whales at play. And as we go, we love to sing, so don't get in our way. Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, so don't get in our way. The Mozart Hall is where we meet, in sunshine or in gale. We'd love to have you sing with us, that is if you're a male. Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, that is if you're a male. Oh, may we go a-sheddying until the day we die. We have great camaraderie and love a nibble pie. Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, we love a nibble pie.
Oh, now I'm all wet. I'll have to finish my shift in a dripping uniform. Excuse me, mate, would you mind stepping out of your vehicle?
Yes, I would, Constable.
Very well, stay in there. Must warn you, though, that anything that you say is safe with me. Could I see your licence, please?
Certainly, Constable.
Wait a minute, this is a fishing licence.
Yes, well, I am a fisherman.
Have you got a photo ID?
Allow me to take a selfie. Will that do?
Oh, I don't know. Get back to you on that. What's your name?
Darling, Murray Darling.
Oh, no need to get fresh. We hardly know each other, but are you a local?
No, I am French.
Oh, I see. Now, are you licensed to drive this here semi-trailer?
I'm driving it all right, ain't I, Constable?
You just went round a roundabout on 12 wheels.
Of course, I was doing a semicircle.
And do you know that you have a tail out at the back?
Which side?
The right.
Ah, is that a southern right?
Well, it is at the moment. You're going up Lava Street.
Right, I shall get it fixed right away.
And are you splashing water down the street?
Probably.
Then get your radiator fixed, right?
Oui.
If you're going to wee, you'll have to go back to the corner of Koroit and Liebig. There are public conveniences there.
Oh, that is convenient. Can I go now, Constable?
Sounds like you better.
I do not want to run out of water.
Well, carry on then, darling.
Oh, you are sweet, Constable.
That was close, Murray.
Yes, I could smell his dinner, Murray.
I don't think we better do that. We'll confuse the audience.
Why? Because it's too late for dinner?
No, I mean, don't call each other Murray.
Ah, you mean we should go back under cover?
That won't be necessary yet. Just don't call each other Murray, even if we are. Do you think they are onto us?
Oh, I doubt it. We're the masterminds here.
Are we? So what do we do with this whale then, darling?
Don't you get fresh. Same as the others, we hide it. Then either the Warrnambool City Council will pay a huge ransom to get their whale back, or we'll sell them to a coastal town in need of a tourist attraction.
Or could we take them up the river and really fool them?
Ah, don't be silly, boy. We'd run out of water before we got there.
Too bad about Sid falling into the bay like that.
Yes, the fool. Never mind, it wasn't that rough. He'll swim ashore.
Or we could pick him up with the next whale. He'll probably have one waiting for us. Otherwise, we could be charged for homicide.
That's hardly likely, Cod. Murray, you never did tell me what Cod is short for.
No, my mama never told me either. It must be a family secret.
Wait a minute, I'm getting dressed. Quick, darling, into the cupboard. Come in. Come in. I said come in.
Oh, I couldn't hear for all the knocking.
I wasn't knocking, Gutters.
Gouteurs, sir.
Yes, whatever, Gutters.
Well, you called me Inspector.
Why would I call you Inspector? You're only a constable.
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, did you stop a semi-trailer in Lava Street at 2 o'clock this morning?
Yes, sir.
Licence number?
Fishing licence 465897354217962857414793817
Oh, I think you have an extra number in there somewhere. And I lost you after the second nought.
There were no noughts, only donuts. Shall I give it to you again?
No, put it on the spike behind the toilet door.
That's not me, folks. I'm a different spike.
Did you do a breath test?
Oh, no need. He was definitely breathing. I could smell the alcohol on his breath.
What about a blood test?
Oh, negative.
Oh, negative. How interesting.
I didn't think so.
Did you notice anything fishy about this semi-trailer?
Yes, sir. A large tail above the tailgate and leaking plenty of water.
I didn't mean that sort of fish. What was your prognosis?
I didn't have one. I only just had dinner. However, I suspected he may be carrying a whale.
How so?
Detail on detail. In my notebook. It matched the tail of the whale missing from Logan's Beach.
Right. Get over here and scan the sand for any tyre marks resembling a semi-trailer of that size. Oh, and ring the Maritime Studies at Deakin University and ask them what would be required to get a southern right whale into a semi-trailer and how long they're likely to last in one.
Oh, yes, sir. Anything else, sir?
Isn't that enough? Well, get me a coffee then.
How do you know it was a southern right?
I'm always right. I'm an inspector.
What if it was left-handed?
Well, you'll be able to tell by the tyre marks.
Right, sir.
One more thing, Constable.
Yes, sir?
Change into a dry uniform. You smell like an octopus.
Well, no, I'm sure it was a whale, Inspector Setka.
Don't call me that, Gutters.
But it's your name, sir.
It will just confuse the listeners. All 9 of them.
Yes, sir.
Damn scriptwriters. Why do they try to be so clever with their names? Why couldn't I be Milligan or something ordinary like that?
There's nothing ordinary about Milligan, let me tell you. That's my name, and you'd confuse everyone if you had it.
Who the hell are you?
Milligan.
And what are you doing here, Milligan?
Oh, nothing much. Apparently I'm dead.
Yeah, smells like it.
No, that's the octopus that was in here before me.
Oh, go back to wherever you came from. I have business to finish.
If I must, Inspector Sector.
Well, have we made any progress? I don't think so. What was really in the back of the semi? And who was in the inspector's cupboard? And is this really a murder mystery? It's starting to sound a bit fishy. Stay tuned and all will be revealed. Well, it may not be all, but hopefully something will be.
That put to sea, and the name of the ship was a Billy at Tea. The wind blew hard about it down, oh blow me, bully boys, blow.
Hoy!
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the famine is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Ho! Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the famine is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, a whale's tail came up and caught her. Our hands to the side, harpooned and fought her when she died down low. Ho! Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the famine is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not on greed. He belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Ho! Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the famine is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The Wellerman makes a regular call to encourage the captain, crew and all. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the famine is done, we'll take our leave and go. Once more! Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the famine is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Meanwhile, on Logan's Beach, DCI Vera Stanhope and her trusty sidekick DS Aidan Healy are examining marks on the beach.
Listeners may be wondering what the beloved Detective Vera is doing on Logan's Beach of all places.
Well, I just told you they're examining marks on the beach.
But we don't even have the murder yet.
They might. That's what Vera does. Be patient, dear Francis.
Thank you, Aidan. That's very kind of you.
Vera takes Aidan's coffee.
As regular viewers of Vera will know, she regularly does.
Hey, that's mine.
This has got sugar in it.
Yes, that's how I have it.
So, what have we got here, Aidan?
Drag marks on the beach, Mum.
Could it be a body?
Too early to say, Mum. But it would have to be someone very tall.
Could it be the body of a man thrown into the sea at Dover, who we've come all the way to Austria looking for?
Australia. Still too early to say, Mum.
Well, Pet, how long will it take? We haven't got a permanent visa. We'll probably end up on Nauru.
Why? Do you think that's where our body might have gone? We could ask her, Mum.
Did she find the marks?
No, she came with us to do forensics.
Any idea where the body was dragged to?
There are tyre marks in the sand where the drag marks stop.
So, a vehicle was involved. What sort?
Too early to say, Mum. We could ask her.
I thought you said she was forensics. Now it's mechanics. Can you tell me anything about this vehicle, or are we wasting our time here?
Possibly, Mum. A very long vehicle.
Could it have been two vehicles then?
Well, yes. if the first one broke down or bogged in the sand, but if that happened, it would probably still be here.
Unless the second one pulled the first one out.
Then there would be no point.
I'm beginning to wonder if that's the case anyway. Well, I want every inch of sand on this beach scanned for clues.
Every inch, Mum? Are you serious?
Well, every few centimetres.
That's better. More doable. How deep?
The usual. We're not about what's doable, Aidan. Standards. And what's that television crew doing up there on the cliff?
They're filming us, Mum.
So the local news is here already, and we only just arrived.
No, they're filming us for the next series of Vera.
I thought they told us the last one was the last one.
Perhaps this is the spin-off. Vera in Australia.
Wait a minute. Who's that over there? Put police tape around the scene.
He must be one of us.
I doubt it. Look at him. I say, what are you doing over there?
I'm staying over here till it's my turn to speak.
Are you one of us?
Doesn't sound like it. I'm a local constable. No one around here talks like that. Yep, Constable Coutures, ma'am. Your Warrnambool Police.
So, Coutures, what do you suppose is going on here? Has a body been dragged to shore?
Yes, I believe so.
A very tall body. Was it, Constable?
No, normal height for a southern right whale.
A
whale?
That's right, it dragged up here onto the beach and loaded onto a waiting semi-trailer.
That sounds pretty unlikely.
So, what are you looking for?
A body went into the sea at Dover and probably washed ashore here.
That sounds pretty unlikely.
We'll see about that. I want you two to bag up these tyre marks and take them off for testing.
But, Mum.
And I want you to get uniform to scan every inch of this beach for clues.
What, every inch?
Well, very well, love, pet. As many as you can. And Gutters, what are all those people doing up on that cliff?
Well, they're tourists, ma'am.
How did they get here so quickly? I suppose they want my autograph.
No, they're always there, looking for whales.
Any chance of them finding any? I wouldn't expect whales to go up onto cliffs.
Yes, they give birth here at Logan's Beach.
The tourists or the whales?
Well, that depends on how long they're here. And the boats usually berth round by the breakwater.
So this here looks suspicious.
Well, if you say so.
Wait a minute. There's another television crew down the beach. What are they doing?
That would be Miss Fisher, private investigator. It's a new series being filmed.
What's she investigating?
Oh, a body has been washed ashore.
What?
That's probably our man.
With that, Vera and her assistant detective hurried down the beach.
Running across the sand does not usually make a noise, as you can probably hear. So we've arranged for a dog to run after them.
What's that dog doing here?
Barking, Mum.
Shouldn't it be on a lead?
Well, no, it's only a sound effect. But don't worry, it's only a little sound effect, so it shouldn't bite.
They soon found themselves before an attractive young woman. Well, younger than Vera, but then most of us are. She stands next to a body lying on the sand near the Hopkins mouth, with several investigative staff around her.
Are you Miss Fisher?
Yes.
Which one? Didn't she die?
Well, that would make me the other one.
So, Pet, what do we have here?
Excuse me. Who are you?
DCI Vera Stanhope, British Police.
And I'm her assistant, Aidan Healy.
You seem to have a body at your feet. Is he English?
He hasn't made a statement. Yet. I doubt he will.
We believe he may be a body we've tracked here from Dover.
I doubt it. He hasn't been in the water that long. He would have to have flown out a direct flight from Heathrow. If he did, then he'd still be waiting for his luggage.
Are you sure, love?
Pretty sure. I've done that flight.
I mean about the body.
Pretty sure. But we are waiting for forensics.
Aren't we all, Pet?
It is probably one Sydney Cove. Small-time lowlife. No signs of violence. Been in the water only a few hours. Probably fell off a boat.
So why are you here?
Well, we have to explore every possibility. I'm actually looking for another body.
Of course, aren't we all? Now, do you mind just confirming all that before we stop looking for our own body?
Who's your body?
Man fell from Dover Cliffs in a deadly struggle, fell into the sea and washed away. We believe to be here, unless he went to France. But the weather is better here, Pet.
You think so? It's been blowing a gale for the last season.
We noticed, but we're used to it. We have the same weather in northern England.
How do we find you?
We're staying at the Blue Whale.
So am I. Perhaps we could have drinks.
Well, what about me?
What about you?
Well, I could come and have drinks and fill you in on all the local information.
I'm sure that won't be necessary, Pet. How could that even be interesting?
You'd be surprised. But now, you'll never know.
Wait a minute. Who's that up on the top of the cliff here?
Well, on top of Mozart?
If that's what it's called. Man with a broad brim hat, riding a bicycle, followed by a camera crew.
That looks like Father Brown. I'd recognise that silhouette anywhere.
I thought I saw him on the plane, but didn't get a chance to speak to him. I wonder what he's doing here, a long way from the Cotswolds.
The whole BBC production team must be here.
Perhaps we should have a word with him, Pet.
No, don't do that.
Who are you?
I'm still the scriptwriter.
Are you sure, love? I thought Anne Cleves wrote me.
Anne Cleves? Who on earth is Anne Cleves?
Well, she probably doesn't know who you are either.
I definitely wrote this script, I'm sure. And look, here's my ID.
With that, he waved the badge of the Scriptwriters Guild at Vera.
Wait, this card is blank.
Yes, Doctor Who left it in the green room.
Who?
That's right.
All right, but are you sure we shouldn't have a word with Father Brown? Just to catch up.
Yes, please don't. We don't want another poor excuse for the voice of a famous detective.
Do you mean me, Pet?
I wouldn't think so, Ma'am. Surely he means Miss Fisher.
Just don't make the script any more ridiculously complicated than it already is, or just more ridiculous. I'll be listening carefully.
Surely that's up to him, Aidan.
I would have thought so, Ma'am.
Well, is this a body worth investigating, or is it a distraction? And if this isn't a murder, what is it? And if it isn't, have we falsely advertised a murder mystery that isn't? And which Miss Fisher is this really? And why is Father Brown standing on Moidgel? Does it matter? Does anything matter anymore, other than who wrote this script in the first place? More answers after this break, including some that don't matter.
If you wanna get to heaven, let me tell you what to do. You gotta grease your feet in mutton stew, slide right out of the slippery sand, and lose over to the promised land. If you wanna get to heaven, let me tell you what to do. You gotta grease your feet in mutton stew, slide right out of the slippery sand, and lose over to the promised land. If you wanna get to heaven, let me tell you what to do. You gotta grease your feet in mutton stew, you gotta slide right out in the slippery sand, and lose over to the promised land, and lose over to the promised land, and lose over to the promised land.
Miss Fisher and her film crew packed up and left for the Blue Whale.
Vera and Aidan did the same. In the meantime, we find ourselves in the midst of one of the most extraordinary murder mysteries since the Mousetrap, now in its 199th year.
You may be wondering, though, why this has even been called a murder mystery.
The murder usually happens in the opening scenes.
At least there is one. We don't seem to have a murder at all, just a body.
Well then, that may be our mystery.
May it? Is that even possible?
They'll just have to keep listening.
So will I. This is as far as I've read up till now.
Henry, this is all very confusing.
Shut up, Minnie. We aren't in this play, apparently.
Oh, we're back already then. Oh, goody. Shut up, Pickles.
At least if this was Shakespeare, we'd have a subplot by now.
What do you mean?
At least twins, separated by the sea, cast ashore, and dressed up as someone from the opposite gender.
We offered you twins.
I don't think we're twins, but...
And we aren't twins either.
Wait a minute, what are you two doing back here? I thought we told you this isn't a goon show. Just taking every opportunity to get...
Yes, we thought we'd try the Shakespeare route.
No, you couldn't, not even close.
Come on, I think we're wasting our time here.
Your time? You're wasting everyone's time.
I think we'd better keep quiet, Minnie.
Meanwhile, back in the real world.
I say, Pet, what do you suppose is out in the front of the blue whale?
It looks like a semi-trailer.
And does that look to you like a whale's tail poking out the back?
Probably just an ad for the motel. Blue Whale.
I'm not so sure. We shouldn't jump to conclusions in a case like this.
I haven't been jumping anywhere, Mum. But I did just get an email from back home. Apparently our body turned up in France. He swam the English Channel with just a bullet graze to his shoulder.
Damn, we've come all this way for nothing.
It could have been worse, Mum.
Surely not.
We could have gone to France.
Well, we can put this trip down to researching Australian police methods, I suppose.
Could we? Wouldn't accounts be a bit suspicious?
Good heavens, what is happening now? Aren't we the police?
Excuse me, ma'am. Could you please explain why your Land Rover has British number plates?
Do you know who I am, Pet?
No, but if you show me your licence, it should be printed on there. Then I'll be able to tell you. You don't appear to know yourself.
You fool, what sort of a police officer are you?
Not them, you fool. The two in the semi-trailer.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Please don't go anywhere.
Wouldn't dream of it, Pet.
Get out of the truck with your hands up.
There is a pregnant silence.
Don't tell me the whale is giving birth.
It's no good. We have you surrounded.
No, we haven't, sir. There's only two of us.
Where's the backup?
Excuse me, Inspector, could we assist you?
Why? Who are you?
Another one who doesn't watch us, Aidan.
DCI Vera Stanhope, British Police, and Detective Aidan
Oh,
Healy.
all right, but I'm in charge.
And look, here comes Miss Fisher.
Oh, that's why all those television cameras are up on the hill.
Shut up, Gutters.
You'll never take us alive, Sector.
He has a gun, sir.
I can see that, Gutters. We have you surrounded, darling. You haven't a chance.
There's only two of you and two of us.
3,
4.
5.
And us.
Who are only the production crew? Have some pride, lads. We are the Tin Shed Singers.
We are the Shady.
Stop!
As each voice rang out across Raglan Parade, a milk tanker drove past.
We haven't even got a milk tanker sound effect.
Don't tell me we have to do that bit again. It was supposed to be drowned out.
We are the Shady.
Yes, it was, but we won't bother.
Meanwhile, distracted, Murray Darling swung around quickly, accidentally firing his gun.
Ah, you deaded me! Rolls over, spilling cough lollies across Raglan Parade, causing a passing cyclist to slide across the road and take Darling's legs out from under him.
As he is upended, Darling tosses his gun into the air.
Catch it, Pet!
Got it, Mum.
Arrest them, gutters.
Coutures, sir.
Don't worry, I'll do it myself. Murray Darling and Murray Codd, you are under arrest for whale napping.
I don't think it's napping, look. It seems quite frisky to me.
I'll explain later. You are also suspected of not assisting someone distressed in the water.
Isn't someone to help Blue Bottle?
We told you before, this is not a goon show.
I didn't write this bit, folks.
Who are you then, Pet?
Spike Milligan, the late, great Goon Show writer.
Yes, any later and we would have finished the play without you.
But aren't you dead? I read it in the papers.
Apparently. I don't read those pages. No, I just wander around haunting radio plays.
Ones you haven't written.
Especially ones I haven't written.
Can we finish? I want to go and have a shower.
This has been A Whale's Tale, a local murder mystery, a radio play written for the Warrnambool Storytelling Festival by Philip Liebelt.
And performed in front of a live audience for 3-Way FM by Carol Price, Paul Fimmel, John McGuinness, Scarlett Mills, Rob Umney, Brett Holbrook, Jeremy Lee, Donald Bellamy, Peter Van Run, Philip Shaw and Philip Liebelt, with music by the Tin Shed Singers.
Are you still not dead?
Now he is.
Welcome, dear listeners, to 3-Way FM, to another polished and preserved radio play coming to you before a live audience from Mozart Hall.
Welcome to the Warrnambool Storytelling Festival, coming to you live from Mozart Hall.
What have we got for the masses today, dear Francis?
A local murder mystery.
Wait, what are you doing now?
We're starting again.
A murder has happened, so we need to solve it.
Isn't that what happens in a murder mystery?
But you know who did it. What's the point?
Yes, I suppose we do. Does this play even have a point?
But what about them? Did they know who did it?
Don't wave your hand. This is a radio play. Listeners will never see you.
Well, let's just carry on then.